So you can consider Christmas to be more pagan?
Christmas is a bastardization of biblical truth and paganism.
I mean, it's just a good reason to have a celebration during the winter times. I just think it's an opportunity to have a decent enough time and get together with family, and I don't really see an issue with it, which is why I just go ahead and celebrate it, even though I have no religion.
Are you an
you
atheist?
wouldn't. Of course you are. You're a little boy. That's why.
Yeah, you're a little boy.
He was a little boy.
Epic, man.
Are you an atheist, little boy?
How old are you?
I'm 14.
Really?
Yeah.
So then
He
you were,
is.
so then you were lying to me then.
Yeah, I was lying to you. I don't give a fuck.
Okay, now I know that you're not to be trusted. That you will
Don't
lie
trust me. I don't see why you
over an
wouldn't. I have a
insignificant
fucking-
matter such as, and
I'm
you're
a
also
liar.
over talking me while
I'm
I'm
not
talking.
over-talking, man.
I
Okay.
don't give a fuck.
Yeah, you're over talking me, little boy. Okay. Now I know that you're willing to lie even about incidental details. So when it comes to bigger issues, I know that you're not to be trusted.
Epic. I don't want people judging me so much on my age, so I lie about my age often.
Yeah, I don't think anyone's going to, care whether you're 14, 15,
Dude, you
or
fucking care. You're sitting here calling me little child. You're proving the exact reason why.
you are.
It's an irrelevant point, though.
It is relevant. If you're 14, you're a boy.
Fucking god.
Well,
The point is, if you're willing to lie over something of that significance, then when it comes to graver issues, that you're not to be trusted.
Fine. I mean, it's your prerogative not to trust me.
It is my prerogative. That's a good observation.
But when it comes to experience and shit, I mean, it is relevant.
But
Of course it is.
It's not a relevant debate ever. Like,
Oh no, not at all.
So you don't think that experience plays a significant role in developing critical thinking skill? You're over talking me even before I finish. See, this is why I call you a little boy, is because when a grown-up is talking, it's not polite to interject and overtalk them.
That is true.
I don't care, man. Like, you're just here to patronize me. I don't care for it.
Well, that's typical of adolescents. They don't care about being civilized.
No, you're not being civilized when you consistently bring up my age. Like, it's
I'm
not
being civilized.
irrelevant.
Also, he didn't.
I'm just criticizing you. Criticizing you doesn't mean I'm behaving uncivilized.
Dude, you rely on silly semantic word games, and although they might be very effective in argumentation,
Can you give me an example
whatsoever in resolving issues about the universe? Which makes
Can you give me an example?
Well, what point do your word games do? Like,
You said that I employ silly word games. Would you care to give me an example?
All this like bullshit focusing around like with your conversation with Claire, you kept on bringing up this token thing, and then you're constantly over talking people for sure. And I wouldn't really care about that as much. It's just a matter of your hypocrisy that irritates me to such a degree.
Yeah. So when I brought up the issue that codons in the nucleotide sequence are tokens, how is that a silly semantical game?
Because she's not necessarily denying that. You're just kept on harping on it, and then you muted her. And oftentimes you're always just like pussying out by muting your people just because you have this janitor rank. Just let them fucking speak, dude.
How is me being assertive saying that codons in DNA are in fact a token? How is emphasizing that? Yeah, little boy, you see, when somebody asks you a question, then you need to focus. And when you give an answer, in order not to look bad, you need to answer the question they ask you, not something they didn't. Now, how is me being assertive making a case that codons in the nucleotide sequences in DNA are tokens? How is that playing a silly semantic game?
You're changing your question. You started it off with assertive, right? And that's not being assertive because you proceeded to instead mute Claire because you couldn't deal with any opposition to your points. And then afterward, you repeated that point several times. No one was necessarily even denying it, and nor did you give anyone a chance to deny it, by the way. And you just kept on proceeding, tokens, whatever. You know, I'm not a biologist. I don't know if that's true or not. But my point is, you can continuously went on about tokens. You muted Claire, and then when she brought it up, and when she was questioning your assertion about that, you proceeded to patronize her and said that she could not fathom this complicated subject or whatever. And it's incredibly underhanded, and I do not respect you because of it.
Do you take Ritalin or Adderall?
No, I don't.
Okay, well maybe you should consider it because you have
Nice
a complete
at home,
inability
dude.
to. You have a complete inability to focus on the question somebody asked you, and then to give a. You're over talking me. You're
Don't
over
overtalk
talking.
You're over-talking me.
Don't overtalk me.
You're over-talking
okay?
me.
Okay. All right. You're now muted. Okay. If you're just going to come in the room, Jekyll Maxon, and just troll, you're going to get server muted. Now I'm going to put down a note down in your account that you're a troll.
Epic deal. You gotta give him a chance to respond, even if you don't like
now,
it.
Epic, the reason why I ask if you took Ritalin or Adderall is because you're clearly demonstrating an inability to focus and answer the question I asked you. The answer that you gave 3 times is the same response. It didn't address what I said. So I guess it's a waste of time. And the reason why I called you a little boy is because usually little boys don't have critical thinking skills yet. Maybe with a little practice you will in a few years.
Okay, what you asked me, right, is how you being assertive was how it was a bad thing about you being assertive, right? And then I told you I'm arguing with you being assertive. You were not being assertive. You were being a little bitch. And I explained how you muting her was a little bit of a pussy move, and then you continue to enable underhanded tactics because you're too scared to challenge her ideas legitimately.
Again, you've demonstrated an inability to answer the question.
Explain to me how that's the case.
You pointing out that I muted whatever that thing is, whether it's a male or female, I don't know. It has nothing to do with playing silly semantic games. You still have yet to identify, and this will be the last time I ask, because if you can't focus, comprehend, and answer the question, it's pointless. Now, what semantic game did I play?
The just harping on the point constantly about the words, about the definition of words, and it was tedious because it had nothing to do with what she was talking about. She was just trying to I don't remember exactly. It was
To have a conversation, you need to have similar definitions.
That's a little bit better of an answer. You did up your game a little bit. You improved.
Well,
So
Darth,
you're focusing a little bit. But you're over talking me. Please don't over talk me. All right. I was silent while you were gibbering. All right. Now, the issue was whether or not DNA, in part or in whole, either was or contained symbolism. I pointed out to whatever that thing is, low IQ, that within the DNA code, we know that there are sequences that are tokens. This is undisputable. Why do you think geneticists refer to the molecular sequence known as DNA as the DNA code? Code is a form of tokens, okay? And tokens are also symbols. So if that, whatever that thing is, that intersex person, who God knows what that is, objects to it being a symbol, then he or she or it would object to it being a token as well. But I clearly demonstrated the token nature of codons. Now, do you know what a codon is?
No, I've told you that I don't.
Okay, so again, you are speaking out of ignorance. Had you understood what a codon was and what and how the cellular molecular machinery does with that, you would understand that it is a token. And if something is a token, it's also a symbol.
Well,
Hey,
Darth,
Dustin, might I
remember
intersect
arguing
for
that
one
you were
second
wrong.
because I believe your
I
explanation
don't know
is
who
too
is
complex
right
and intelligent for Epic to understand. Do you mind if I intersect for 2 seconds?
Can I quickly just say
No.
because Darth, I don't know who was right, you or Claire. The only thing that I was able to focus on, because you're right, I don't know what that is. I have no knowledge about whatever you were talking about was. But what I commonly realized was just your underhanded and scared tactics towards Claire, which really irritated me. And
What was I scared about?
I don't know what you were scared about, but you were
Well,
underhanded.
you just said that I was scared. What was I scared about?
I said you were utilizing pussy and underhanded tactics.
Yeah,
So-
you said I was scared. Could you tell me what I was scared about?
I have no idea. That's just how you were acting.
You were
Well,
scared
if you don't have any idea, why would you say I was scared?
because that's how you were acting.
Claire.
Okay, and what are you referring to that I was scared about?
You asked
Do you mean
leading
the
questions and
actions
prevented
that I
her
heard
from
from
responding with any.
Yeah, I guess it's a waste of time. I really shouldn't be. I won't call it a debate. Interacting with a a child. Go ahead, XBC.
A little boy.
Can you please
Yeah,
fuck
he's
off?
a
with
little
that?
boy. You know.
What I was trying to say
It's
was
really not. You know.
I was just going to say
seemly.
that Duncan's answer was far too complex for this moron to understand. And the issue with the entire thing is this, is that you cannot have a conversation with someone that does not understand scientific language. And if you do not understand the language of
Oh, get
science,
out of here, XBC.
how science works, please don't talk over me,
Yeah,
child.
Epic, would you stop over talking, please?
And when you do not understand the language of science and codons and all that kind of stuff, not that I'm an expert in it in any way, shape, or form, but if you do not understand the science and you do not understand the language of the science, you cannot discuss the topic because you cannot understand the language